Welcome to the Gleeful Meeple, a podcast all about board games where strategy meets laughter and placing tokens can be a harmonious experience. In this episode, we return to Board Game Geek to talk about new game discoveries. We build landscapes and habitats in this week's game of the show, Harmonies. And you, the Gleeples, get to play along as the hosts get put in the hot seat with this week's game challenge. Without balance, there can't be harmony. Build your habitats wisely to attract as many animals as you can. In the end, don't we all just want a little community of friend-shaped animal companions? Hey, fellow outdoorsy types.
Hey, James.
Hi, James. It's Emily.
Oh, you said outdoorsy type, so I was confused. But I am here. This is Dwayne.
Yeah, I don't go outside
I
either.
find the sun frightening.
Yes.
It's like, remember in, was it Mario 2, where that level where the sun's trying to kill you? I feel like that's the summer in Tennessee.
This is JK, and I've always been pale-skinned, but now that I'm kind of hairless as well, at the top of my head, man, I cannot go outside at all.
Double down. This is James, and I do like the outside, but I'm in the same camp. If I walk outside without some kind of head covering, I'm doomed. Well, guys, Dwayne, you'll be happy to know.
Hello.
I have brought with me today another limerick.
Man.
I do love limericks so
Let's
much.
go.
Wait, remind me of the limerick rules. It doesn't necessarily, like, you're not going to leave a blank for the last word or anything. You're
No.
going to, the limerick is going to
It is
describe
complete.
the game. Okay,
Yes,
let's go.
very much will be complete. If you think of it, maybe wait till the end before you
All right.
proclaim your answer.
Fine.
There once was a game that turned the corner. The Go-Go's got it, but warmer. The cards bring the pain as you vie for acclaim. If checkers or chess, the former.
I was fine until that last line.
Wow.
Go again, because I'm stuck on one thing.
I bet I know what you're stuck
wait.
on.
Is it Heat?
It is Heat,
Yeah.
Emily.
Okay, checkers like the checkered flag. Yes.
yeah.
Okay, I got there.
We got the beat, but warmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
We got the beat. It was great.
There once was a
love
game
it.
that turned the corner.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
The
fun.
Yeah.
Go-Go's got it, but warmer.
I'm only mad that Emily got there before I did.
Way to go.
Yeah, I had just played that the other day and unfortunately got in third place. And I was so sad about it. So that's been on my mind.
When I thought of the Go-Go's line, I definitely chuckled to myself. I was
Okay.
very proud of that.
So, guys, I was on a road trip this week for work.
Where'd you go?
I was in Indianapolis for a week.
Oh.
Side of Gen
We
Con.
know Indy.
Yeah. And I made 2 stops on the way back. I stopped at a lovely little game store in Greenwood, Indiana called the Game Preserve. So shout out to them. Really good selection, nice little store.
So jams and jellies that are board game related?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of overwhelming how much they had in there, and the way they have it set up. I think there was some rhyme and reason to it. Like they had a whole column in the middle of their store, which had 4 games on 4 sides that was all 2-player games or dual games, and then they had like their main stock was somewhat alphabetical. It was a little hard to kind of wrap my mind around when I was there, but I managed to find a couple things. But I made one more stop coming back home.
Was it Skyline Chili?
No. Although I did pass one. I passed one and considered it.
That would have been 2
Skyline.
stops, Emily.
You're not wrong. It is the Taco Bell of chili restaurants, but
I don't know if we've talked about this on the show or privately. I feel like I have had this discussion with a couple people, but I am just, I can't grasp the cultural phenomenon that is Buc-ee's.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
spent way too long in the Buc-ee's on the way back
Yeah.
from Indiana.
wait, you can't grasp it, but yet
Why-
you spent a lot of time there?
Why? It's a big gas station. Why are there like hundreds of people in this room? Like,
Yeah. It's the existence of Buc-ee's goes against everything about gas stations and road trips for me.
Yeah.
It's if I'm stopping at a gas station, I am trying to get in and out as quick as possible. And like other people just like go for the adventure of it all. And I'm like, I wish I could be on your level, but
I went there to gas up, to use the restroom, and to get a drink.
Yeah.
And it turned into, I gassed up. I marveled at the sight of their restroom. It was impressive.
Oh, yeah.
And then I grabbed my drink and then proceeded to have probably about 20 to 25 minutes of, oh, what's that?
Yep.
And just kind of kept wandering around the place.
So you were finding things interesting.
Oh yeah, I bought way too much stuff at Buc-ee's.
Impulse buy at the gas station.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to be said for like brand loyalty, right?
I was going to say the same thing.
And now you have this chain of gas stations. It is not unsimilar to Stuckey's from back when we were kids.
Yeah.
Or familiar.
Nope.
So Stuckey's was very popular, especially in the Southeast. I know we had several in the state of Tennessee, but it was, homemade. Well, not homemade, but like they would have Stuckey branded snacks, like pecan logs.
Pecan log roll.
That was their big thing. So you have this idea where when I go into a Stuckey's, I know exactly what I'll find. I know exactly what I like, and I think Buc-ee's is presenting that on a bigger and better scale.
Coincidence that they sound the same?
Stuckey's and Buc-ee's.
Do you know maybe? Is
Did
there some history
Stuckey's have
there?
a beaver
I
mascot?
feel like Buc-ee's is based out of Texas.
That's what I've heard as well. Yeah.
But yeah, I went to my first Buc-ee's, I don't know, a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years ago, because we did not go to Rocket City Game Fest this year.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We've experienced Buc-ee's together.
Yeah.
We've experienced Buc-ee's. JK,
Yes,
you're
that
the
is
only
true.
privileged table I haven't been to a Buc-ee's
Just
with.
solo Bucky solo.
Dwayne was there for my first Buc-ee's experience.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, go ahead, James. But I've got to come back to this because that was one of my favorite things ever.
I was just going to share that, I learned that they're known for a couple of things. Their barbecue is, supposed to be amazing.
Hot brisket.
They have the fudge, which, it's good.
Yeah.
But I think you go in with this hype, and then whatever you have while you're there just tastes better because it was hyped up. It was all fine.
Well, and any other gas station that you go to, are you getting really hyped up over their prepared food that they have there?
Right, exactly.
No.
Like, sure, it was good. You could tell it was a cut above of like, you go to gas station chicken, right? It was a cut above your normal prepared food. But next time I go to Buc-ee's, I'll walk in and just look around just to have maybe an updated visual memory.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lose 30 minutes in the store. I don't think I care enough.
I ended up walking out with a couple bags of saltwater taffy. That's my weakness.
Okay.
I do
A
love
couple
saltwater
different
taffy.
flavored popcorns for my son.
Did you get the
my
nuggets?
God,
I
love
got
flavored
the
popcorn.
beaver nuggets for my wife because she mentioned that she likes those. So I got a couple flavors of those.
It is the dirtiest sounding snack available.
Yeah. And then just kind of wandered and kept looking at things. And finally, with my arms full of stuff, I went, I'm trying to get home. And that was the conscious decision to just leave. Otherwise, I could have been there even longer.
Yeah.
I mean, they have several sections. They have like, clothing and home goods. They have a whole aisle of hot sauces and things like that. Also, other highlights, their beef jerky. They have all kinds of varieties of... It's weird. They have their deli case beef jerky, which I want to say fresh beef jerky, but that doesn't sound like a thing that should exist. But then you can also buy the same stuff prepackaged. We talked about the fudge. Oh, also I am a sucker for is it German roasted like pecans and things where they put the sugar and cinnamon coating and then kind of hard roast it on there. They're delicious. But going back to Emily and I walking into a Buc-ee's for the first time. We were on our way back from Gen Con last year, I want to say.
Yes.
And Emily takes about 2 steps inside the store and she goes, "Is this a cult?" And I'm like, "You're not far off." Like, yeah, it sort of is.
I forgot I had said that. I was unknowingly had COVID that day. And so I was like, I thought I was just tired from the con. I was like, I'm ready to go home. Like, turns out I was sick.
And I was unknowingly sitting next to someone with COVID
and
for several hours.
somehow didn't get it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we spent the whole day together because that's one of our friends was working the booths. And so we were literally walking around Gen Con together all day trying to find things to do to occupy our time.
Yeah.
I am shocked I didn't get COVID.
But yeah, amazing branding,
Yeah.
amazing marketing. My comparison, I think, like I said, when I go back, it's going to be like, okay, is this cool as Buc-ee's? I'm not going to spend a bunch of time here. But for kids,
oh, yeah.
I think back to growing up with Cracker Barrel. It's a smaller version of that in a sense. You're going for one thing,
Okay.
but then you have this huge other experience. As a kid, Cracker Barrel was amazing.
Yeah.
Because, we're going there to eat, but I get to walk around and play with their puzzles. They always have those old puzzles. And just get lost in the store and see all this cool stuff on the walls. As an adult, now I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but I would never get quote unquote lost in the store.
No, that's a good comparison.
Buc-ee's for a kid. Imagine growing up now and making buggies a regular stop in your
sure.
road trips
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
That
And
would
you
be a
see-
core memory.
Well, it's, Dwayne, you brought up Stuckey's. When I was a kid growing up in northern Indiana, when we were going on vacation to Florida, that was one of the things was which Stuckey's are we stopping at along the
Yeah.
way.
So I think that's kind of what a big part of it is.
Yep. And you do see the families like at the taking pictures with the bucket. It's like a
Yeah.
theme park.
Yeah, it
it's,
is.
it's wild.
It's a phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
It's
Great
bizarre.
word for it.
Yeah.
All right, so our discussion for today brings us back to Board Game Geek.
All right. It's a website that we
Love
we
me some
use pretty
BGG.
often.
BGG.
The Bee Gees.
It's on my Google favorites.
Yeah. And if I type B in my browser, it's Board Game Geek.
Board Game Geek or Board Game Arena, whatever website I went to
right.
more
I have finally
recently.
gotten
Yeah.
Google to stop taking me to Battleground Academy when I type BGA.
Wow.
I was thinking recently about the process that I go through, and it made me think maybe the process that you guys go through. When you first discover a game, and I don't mean you discover it on BGG. Maybe that's where you discover it, but you
Sure.
see it on a shelf somewhere. You see it on a YouTube channel.
Yeah, okay.
See it
And,
in
and
a
you're like,
bag.
I want to know more about this game, and you land on the BGG page for that game.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the process that you go through to learn about it, to see if you think it might be a game for you? You found interest in it. Now you're on this page that has just a ton of information. Do you have a way in which you process and filter and sort through that information to kind of help you put A and B together? Hey, I know this game. Have this person, has this designer ever designed any other games? What's this geek rating thing? There's forums here. What are they asking these questions about? Just what's your go-to process when you first land on a BGG page and you're like clicking on things and looking at stuff to help learn about it?
Sure.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go last.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think when I first land on the page, it can kind of depend on what type of game. So if this game I just saw the box art or just saw the name and that was enough to pique my interest, then I'm going to be looking up to see what mechanics are there, because I know kind of what mechanics I'm like tend to like. Auction and bidding, bluffing. Sometimes my mechanics to avoid: deck building, drafting, set collection, mechanics that I kind of gravitate towards. So I think that the rating system exists, and sometimes I'll use that as a guide. And then sometimes I just go straight to the forums to see what people are talking about. Sometimes the files will have the rules right there. Sometimes I'll just peruse that. I think
You've gone through a few things here. But so you'll actually go to there's a files area where people can upload files about this game, whether it's homemade
Rule
player
books.
aids, rule books. So you'll actually go there, find the PDF of the rule book, and maybe peruse it and see what you think.
Just to get like because that's what BGG has, like the description, which is kind of like the game in a sentence, which I like. But then just going to the rule book, you can just look at the front page and get an idea. Or like a lot of rule books have like the object of the game right on the first page. And so I like looking at that.
I think you nailed a big one right off the bat, which was the mechanics. So when you first land on a Board Game Geek page for a game, right at the top, it has just a bunch of information, number of players, the play time, the weight of the game, meaning how difficult it could be, how complex it is. But then it gives you all the stats, the designer, the artist, the publisher, and all that stuff. One of the things is the mechanics. So it'll tell you, is it a drafting game? Is it an auction game? And I like, if you see a game on a shelf, oh, that theme looks cool. The idea of this game seems neat. Then you pull it up and you look at the mechanics and you're like, oh, that has blind bidding. I hate blind bidding games. You might know to immediately just avoid that game. You can discover pretty quickly that it might not be for you. Whereas everything else about that game on the shelf looks really fun. You go to the mechanics and find out that, oh, that's the thing that I've not liked in other games. I probably won't like this one. So that's a big one.
So my process is a little different because mechanics rarely is a deciding factor for me. I cannot even think the last time I was like, oh, I want to specifically look and figure out what the mechanics are in this game before I buy it. But I think my board game buying process is a little different. For the most part, I have, going back to brand loyalty, I have a lot of brand loyalty. So if it's a Fantasy Flight game, I'm probably going to buy it. If it's a Legendary game, regardless of what the theme is, the flavor is, I'm probably going to buy it. However, we do have a local used media store that sells board games here in the area in McKay's. And when I go in there, I'm flush with credit. Like, I have a lot of in-store credit at McKay's. And so it's almost like going in with Monopoly. I'm playing with house money, right?
Yeah.
So I see something on the shelf that I'm not familiar with. The first thing I'm going to do is check, is McKay's giving me a good deal on this? Can I buy this game anywhere else for less? And if I can, I will usually put it back. But then, if I feel like I'm getting a bargain, step one, must be a bargain, I will check BGG. I will glance at BGG and just take a look at that average user rating that's at the on the main page. Mm-hmm. Big, colorful hexagon number. If it is over, if it's a 7 or over, and I have any interest in the game, I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Because again, I have house money. It's not really costing me anything to do that. And also, if they're giving it to me at a good deal, that means there's a few factors. One, if I get it home and I absolutely hate it, I can take it back. They have a 30-day pretty liberal return policy there. If I get a few plays in it, it's not my thing, I know I can flip it and maybe even make some. I'm trading Monopoly money in for real money at that point. So that's kind of my process when using Board Game Geek.
So your first stop is glancing at the rating to see how on average all the people that have spent time rating this game on Board Game Geek, what do they think of it? Yeah,
and it's not even a good number it's not a great number to use, but it is. It has rarely led me astray. Every so often, I'm like, I don't understand why this game is this high, but yeah, I'm pretty happy. That system works for me.
I would love to know what your lowest ranked games are.
My lowest ranked games? We should talk about that sometime.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
That's called foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Now,
JK, what about you?
A piece of I'll just mention kidding. When you look at the ratings, just for the listener's benefit, if you're not familiar with Board Game Geek, a connected piece of information that is important to look at is also how many ratings it had.
Sure.
It's an 8.5. Two people have rated it. So on that same page, it'll show you its rating and how many thousands or hundreds of ratings, so you can get an idea of how impactful is this number.
My thought process is that if it's on the shelf at McKay's already, it's probably been out long enough where it's more than just like, the people who saw the Kickstarter and rated it without even playing it. Yeah, but general guideline. Also, I could be going through 10, 20, I could be going through dozens of games just depending on what the store haul is that day, and so I don't. It's not a research time. It's like this is my quick. I've got.
Yeah.
I want to. Yeah. I want to look at as many games as I can, and so that's my quick decision making process.
My head's kind of spinning right now. Mostly because I sat and listened to your description, James, of what you could use BGG for when you're considering buying a new game, and realized, God, I don't do that at all. For me, BGG is the afterthought once I've got the game to use it as a database. But now, kind of listening to what you said, all three of you, in fact, what you're kind of looking at for the qualities of the games, the designers, the mechanisms. I don't do that, and it makes me wonder if I started doing that, would I buy less games? I don't know.
I think so, because I've heard you talk about going into a convention hall and your eyes just like light up, and it's like a new JK takes over.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at does the thematics of the game sound interesting? Is it something I'd be interested in playing? I don't want to. We've joked about this several times on the show. I don't care how good Dune Imperium is as a game. I don't like Dune, so I'm not going to play it.
And that's what I think that plays a lot into me finding games. Which I think for the purpose of this conversation, we're not super talking about, but yeah, I get that way too. Cause it's like,
for me, it's theme. For me, it's, does the game look nice? Do I think I would enjoy getting this on my table and seeing what it's made of? I don't take that extra step of going beyond that and going, well, what are people saying about this game? And maybe I should. I know our friend Ryan, friend of the show, I have been shopping with him where he's picked up a game off the shelf, read through it, seemed intrigued by it, was ready to go run it to the counter, and he goes and looks at BGG, and then it immediately goes back on the shelf. So there's something in his internal editing process that he's taking BGG's consideration. I don't do that, but maybe if I was more financially responsible, maybe I should.
It's
That's
definitely
maybe finances is a thing because I'm or space, because we've talked about that too, where it's like I don't have a dedicated like board game room. I have a nook in a corner and one shelf that all my games do not fit on, and so that puts a super limiting like factor on my collection, which causes me a more strict, I think, vetting process.
It's definitely one of those situations where chaos seems to fill whatever space you give it, right?
Yes. Yes.
So when you say
100%.
small space, is it filled with games?
Yes.
JK and I have large spaces. Are they filled with games? Yes.
And that's what, like, even
which
after
one, medium plus?
I think so. Yeah, I'd say medium plus.
even after moving, I was like, oh, I moved. I have more space for games, and it's like, I don't really. I just have to get more creative about storing them.
There was a post on Facebook yesterday that said, if space and money were not a problem, how many games would you own? And I said,
many.
Is all an option?
Yeah. Yeah.
Select all.
I keep driving by this empty building near our place, and it's like there's a sign like for lease or for sale or whatever. And I just
how
have
many
this.
Kalaxes can I fit in there?
I had this little fantasy of just like I want to create like a library, but it's just board games. So it's like you have the tables, like similar to like a Game Point, but just like free. Like it's just a place to hang out, no business, and it stores all my games.
James, I want to say this about your medium plus size collection. In my mind, like before I knew other board gamers and like was visiting their homes the way we do within our group, like your collection is kind of what I envisioned. And honestly, it's probably the size of my collection at the time when I was, before I moved into to my glee lair here in the basement. But in my mind, that was the size of collections that people in our hobby had, like totally normal, collection. When I started visiting other people in our group, and like a friend of the show, Mary, and I saw her board game collection, which was like a shelf of a couple of games, I was like, oh, I guess that's more like a normal person's board game collection. Like even the sizes that we had were like, oh yeah, I guess that is a little over the top.
I think like, especially in our group, because it's like we have so many like powerhouses like you and JK, where it's like, okay, well, I don't need to get this game. Like Dwayne's got it.
One of these idiots will buy it.
Yeah, I'm very much like you, Emily, where I do, and to your point, JK, it has saved me from buying games sometimes because I'll look through the forums, I'll look at the designers, see because if you click on a designer, you can then click on their name and then see what other games they've designed. And it's like, oh, they've designed some actually pretty powerful. I had no idea they designed that. They have some pedigree. I'm more confident in buying this game. Or I've never heard of any of these, and all these other games are super low ranked. I don't know. But I will spend time popping in the forums, looking at all that stuff, but sometimes before I buy a game, just to get a feel for what is this about. And it's saved me from spending dollars on games that I probably wouldn't have. And I mean, even games that aren't out yet, like Gen Con's coming up. I'm starting to build out my list. Right, Board Game Geek has a Gen Con list, and you can create your own interested, must-have kind of list for Gen Con.
Later.
Yeah, I need to stay off that page.
And sometimes you can pre-order, right?
If the publisher, if it's released, if they have a page for it on their website, yeah. But I have my list, and then I open up all those games in their own tab and start looking at each individual one, going in the forum, see who the designer is, what they're talking about, it just to see like
where do you find the
theme
time?
looks interesting,
right?
But I'm like, well, what's this game about? I'm like, oh, it's like a re-implementation of this. Oh, no, thanks. So I can just delete it. So now it's off my Gen Con radar.
That's interesting.
Doesn't take up brain space anymore.
Huh?
Yeah.
I think
love
JK
watching
and I
people
are
get
much
ready for
more
Gen
in the
Con.
like let's
dive in.
Let's just walk around the hall, and if somebody grabs us for a demo and we like the game, we're probably going to
don't get me wrong.
No, that's exactly
in the moment. Y'all have seen my Origins haul and Gen Con hauls. I will buy some games.
Well, and there's information there that maybe I could use that would help inform purchases. When we were at the flea market recently, I picked up Nucleum. At a fairly good price from someone. And when I brought it back over to the table, you made the comment of whoever the designer is. You said, oh, that's another great, we're getting a lot of games from this designer in our collection. And I went, well, what did he make? And I actually had to go online and realize it was Grand Austria Hotels, a lot of my favorites. But I went, oh, I had no idea. I was just buying the game.
So
I only know Vincent Dutrait.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me say this about designers. Before we started this show, like I would look at a designer's name. There are maybe 3 or 4 designers I knew by name. Kevin Wilson, Corey, I can't think of his last name right now. From Fantasy Flight, Larry Davis, who did Larry Harris, who did Axis and Allies.
So you barely even know his name.
But that's just because I grew up with that stuff. But this show has made, doing this show with you all has made me more cognizant of looking for design. Hey, if you know, and it's probably a better indication than a publisher, right? Because a publisher can publish anything. But going with the designer and learning like, oh, they really do like dice drafting, or this designer really does great worker placement games. That is a much better qualifier for things I might want in my collection than like randomly going and pulling games.
It's like following an author if you're into reading.
Yeah, when I was looking last year's Gen Con, I was going through the last year's hot list, and I saw a game in there, and it listed a designer's name, and I was like, that's the designer of Revive. Like, how is nobody talking about this game yet? And so it immediately went on my must-buy list.
Okay.
Sadly, it didn't end up staying in my collection, but I did get it. And I would not have known that otherwise if I wasn't more familiar with designers. So,
which one was that? Reef Project?
No, that was Sparks.
Sparks.
I sold it before. I didn't even get through a whole play. I tested a play of it and then sold it. Yeah,
Ooh, that's awful.
But other people liked it more than me, so maybe it wasn't me. I will mention one last thing. So to your point about like this is how far I'll go at McKay's when I'm going through games and looking at stuff. I'll go to the page, look at reviews or look at forums and all that. If I see a video review that someone's done for that game, I'll play the video review up to my ear in McKay's while I'm still perusing other games just to see. And I'll jump through like some of the stuff, just get to the end or whatever, but just to see what they thought about it. So, yeah.
That's what it's the way I go to McKay's is the way people go to Buc-ee's. Like I walk in and I'm instantly going to be there for at least an hour.
Oh, easily.
Like it doesn't matter if I'm even like selling something and I'm waiting for like my trade-in money or whatever. I'm going to be there at minimum an hour.
I price compare, kind of like you said, Dwayne. Is McKay's really good at selling me this used game or not? And then I'll go immediately to I'll find a quiet corner of McKay's and do a piece count. Make sure that they've got all the pieces.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
see, that is the difference between how we shop at McKay's, because I go in, I have 10 minutes on my way to an event that we're hosting that night. I pop in there, I grab everything I want, and then, like I said, with their return policy, I take it home, and I'll do my counts and stuff there, because I know I'm going to be by there in about 2 weeks anyway if I need to return anything. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very much a pop in, grab what I think I like, and pop out.
I've never had a 10-minute trip at McKay's.
Never.
Now, whenever we go, it always includes trade-ins, so there's always at least a 45-minute wait to get your credit. But
that's a different thing. But that is, I drop my stuff off, go to Tailgate for pizza and a beer, and then come back and get my stuff. Get my trade-in credit.
Well, that's a lot of ways to use a game listing page on Board Game Geek to do some discovery, do some research. And if you don't go to Board Game Geek all the time, but you're just getting into the hobby, you're starting to build your collection, I would recommend look up a game on the site and just familiarize yourself with some of these different aspects, because it really can help you identify, will this game be a game for me?
You
will
can
it
even
not be?
Even just look up a game you already know, and then using that game, just look it up on BGG and familiarize yourself with the page. It's really useful.
That's actually a really great point. You know everything about the game, so once you dive into forums and you see keywords and things, you already familiarize yourself with them. That's a really good idea, Emily.
All right, Gleeples, this episode's game of the show is Harmonies. Harmonies is published by Libellude. It's designed by Johan Benvenuto. Art by Meva da Silva. It plays 1 to 4, but it's at its most gleeful at 2 to 3 players. JK, walk us through Harmonies.
In Harmonies, you are building landscapes by placing colored tokens to create habitats for your animals. So on your turn, you are going to choose from an open market full of these little tiles. You will choose 3 of them, or you'll choose one section, which gives you 3 tokens to place on your board. Those tokens represent water, mountains, fields, buildings, and 2 of them combined together represent trees. you're going to score points at the end of the game based on how you have those laid out on your board, with each of them having a specific quality they're looking for. On top of that, there are animal cards. Now, on your turn, you must choose a selection of tokens. You can opt to pick up an animal card. And the animal cards, those animals are looking for very specific locations as well. Those locations don't line up with the scoring for the individual tokens. So you have to use a little bit of balance to figure out which side you're going to score. Animal cards can typically be scored several times before completed. You are limited to having 4 animal cards in your tableau. So if you have something that becomes impossible to complete, you're just stuck with that. We'll continue to play this game out until either no more tokens can be drawn from the bag to replenish the board, or someone is down to 2 or less possible openings on their board. Harmonies, make your animals happy.
Okay, right off the bat, I have a question. Who had played Harmonies before we played it together?
I have.
Yes. Yes.
No,
Okay,
I had
so
not.
we were both new to the game.
Yes.
Awesome. That just puts me in the right frame of mind for this conversation.
And before we deep dive this and get started, listeners, you might be thinking, wait, Harmonies? I thought that was like a Navor, something Explorers. Yes, we were going to play Explorers of Navoria originally, and we did have to pivot.
Some scheduling conflicts. And I was not able to record a little insert for the beginning of the last episode to swap it up. So
I completely blanked out on that fact.
I know. So maybe I'll get Explorers of Navoria in at some other time in the future.
So first and foremost, I feel like Gleeples missed out on a perfect marketing opportunity for this game, where you shoot this commercial where you have somebody walking into a board game meetup with a copy of Azul, and then you've got somebody walking into the board game meetup with a copy of Cascadia.
Yep.
And they both want to play their game, and someone says, why not both? That's Harmonies to me.
It had a baby.
What's the last board game commercial you remember
I don't
seeing?
know.
Board games had commercials?
I'm trying to think.
Kind of the 90s.
Yeah, Connect 4.
Yeah.
Go for it. Connect 4. That's
Guess
definitely
who?
one.
Okay, I do remember Mousetrap
Guess-
commercial.
Mousetrap feels like there was a song too, but it's not. Yeah, so more.
I mean, Ivy Studios makes promos for YouTube.
YouTube's not TV, JK.
Yeah.
It is these days.
Yeah, it is. You're
Of
right.
course, I don't watch a lot of cartoon. I don't watch like kids cartoons anymore. I almost said I don't watch cartoons, and that's not true. I don't watch a lot of kids cartoons, and I'm guessing if I were, there's probably some board game commercials on there.
Some classics popping up. I feel like I've seen Guess Who recently-ish from something. But
So Harmonies.
So
Harmonies.
the two of you
Emily
that
getting us back on track.
The
Yeah.
two of you that hadn't played this before,
Yes.
what were your initial thoughts?
I felt so stupid. I even texted y'all because we did this on Board Game Arena. I texted y'all. I was like, never has a simple game had so much depth that has made me feel so dumb. Because I realized like halfway through, we ended up playing it twice. I realized halfway through our first game how much strategy I was missing. And so then by that point, it was just too late to like turn the game around. And then in the second game, I felt like I did much better, but still like couldn't quite like, I felt like I could not crack the code. Like there was still something I was missing.
Okay, so I got the message that we were playing Harmonies on BGA. Fantastic.
With James' explanation of the rules.
Let me tell my story my way. Emily is not wrong, though. James did give us a rundown of the rules. I read like the first 3 sentences, and then I was like, yeah, I get it.
Which I will say, just to interrupt, sorry, Dwayne.
No, go ahead.
The explanation of the rules, which would empower you to play the game, was a paragraph.
Okay,
or
that's
two?
fair. It
So
wasn't. Yeah.
not speaking to what your experience, but just for how complex this
Sure.
game, depth of strategy,
It's not giving you the depth.
and the rules are not that big.
And to some degree, I think maybe that was why I was like, oh, the rules aren't even that long. Surely I can figure this out, because BGA is usually like they limit what you can do. So
That's
usually, if
what
it's not complex, you can figure it out.
I think I
Yeah.
had the same thing where like sometimes just knowing the turn structure or the round structure helps give me everything I need to know to like
Jump in.
glean the strategy from it. And it was like halfway through the game, I was like,
And so I open it up and I look, and there's a grid board, and then there are piles of tokens to choose from, and there are animal cards. And the directions are choose a pile of tokens or take an animal card. Okay, easy enough. The tokens relate to pictures on the animal cards. Okay, I get it. I'm supposed to build what's going on here. So I find a pile of tokens that I like. I find an animal card that I like that kind of match up, and I grab it. And then eventually, like, I build up my little habitat so I can put a cube in there. And that's when I realize, oh, wait, the cubes go on specific tokens,
yes,
based on what the animal card says, which means I can combo habitats if the animal card cube is being used on different tokens. Okay, I get it. And then I see the scores on the animal cards. You take a cube off and there's a score under it. Okay, I'm going to score those points. Fantastic. I think I've got this game figured out. Probably not going to do very well, but I get the basic concepts. So in that regard, it's easy to figure out. And at first I was like, I don't think I like this. Like it feels a little too much like Cascadia. I don't really care for you choose how you want to score your board kind of things. Okay, it's fine. By the third turn, I was really getting into like when my turn, I wasn't really looking forward to second turn, but when my turn came around, I found myself really thinking about like, oh, if I take this, I can do this and this. Also, it took me several rounds to realize what the rules for stacking tokens were, because you can't stack
any
token.
Yes.
Because there's a very specific
rules.
diagram on Board Game Arena if you scroll down.
I'll get into that in a second.
And unfortunately, the cards on my phone, where I played most of the game, on my phone, I could easily see that the green tokens stacked on top of brown tokens.
Yes.
But then other tokens that stacked on top of tokens had like a wild, like blue or like a red.
Red, gray, brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From a distance on your phone, it's hard to tell that. And then I remember the first time I zoomed in, I was like, oh, I get it.
That's what James had given us a piece of advice of like try to get like habitats that harmonize with each other.
I didn't see any advice.
And so I was like, okay, yeah, I got it. And so I just kind of like avoided river tokens, blue, any habitat that had blue, I just ended up not getting.
Oh, that explains a lot, actually.
But then what I did not account for in our first game was like, oh, my habitats like don't like the way it's a very specific way they're supposed to be placed on that grid. Mm-hmm. And so I was getting a bunch of like yellow and red and like green, but the way that they fit together was not conducive. So even though I had
they
limited
weren't harmonizing.
I know. I said it earlier and I cringed. But yeah, like so then when we got to the second game, I just got very excited about the potential.
So let's kind of talk about the central conceit of how everything is scored. So the individual tokens, there's 6 colors.
Dwayne, let's talk about that.
That's fair.
You've got the water token. The water token is scored by having the longest continuous run of water, basically making a river. You've got the yellow tokens, which are the fields. You want at least 2 of these tokens to create a field, but then they are scored by having separate fields divided by something else. The gray tokens are mountains. You can build those up to a height of 3, stacking the gray tokens on top of each other. These are scored by connecting to other mountains. The green and brown represent the forest. Now, the brown do no scoring on their own. If you just have one on its own, it's a dead token. But you want to use the brown to build up the height of the trees and also to use as a base to create buildings, which is the last scoring mechanism. Trees, you just want to make them as high as you can, and those can be kind of sporadic throughout your board. Buildings have to be built on a base, so the red token, which is the building, has to go on top of either a brown or a gray. All of those have their own individual scoring. Then you start to throw on the animal cards. Now, the animals will give you a set number of colors to look for. Like it might say this animal wants to be in a habitat that is 1 yellow token surrounded by 3 blue tokens. And every time you create that, you take one of the cubes off of the animal card to score it and place it on the required location, which in that case, if it's the gold one, you put that on the gold, and then you work on building another of this similar habitat to house another animal, or use the 3 waters that you've already got in this habitat to somehow work in another gold there. So you kind of have a conflict of the 2 different scoring methods. You're scoring one way for the animals and one way for the tokens. Which one are you leaning into?
And so that's what, like, Dwayne did not know the token scored. And so.
Which is to me, which is to say,
At all.
which is to say, I leaned heavily into the animal cards because I had no idea there was any other scoring in this game.
And that's where I ignored a lot of the token scoring because I thought it wasn't going to make that much of an impact. And so, like, our second game, when I realized I knew what I was doing, I leaned heavily on the animal cards and still could not win.
Can we go back to this tokens thing for a minute? Because again, did not read anything about the game. I was playing, it is a deeply thematic game.
Oh yes, it's so pretty.
Except if you don't know what the tokens are. It became this weird abstract thing where I was like, all right, I guess I'll put a sun. The only thing I figured out is water. Water was obvious.
Water's water.
Make a
water's
path.
water. All right, I'm going to put the sun next to the water. I don't know what these red things are.
You saw brown
gray
and green
I
and
don't
did
know
not
why-
think tree.
I don't know why I can stack gray storm clouds on top of each other. Green goes on top of brown. Didn't even realize it was trees until I think it was midway through our second game. James said something about water scoring is different in this game, and I was like, that feels like something I should look into because I kind of know what I'm doing now, and now I need to like read the rules for the game. And then when I read what all this was, I was like, oh, okay.
This game just doubled in depth. Yeah.
Can I give you the dumb move that I made while we were
Go
playing?
on.
I know how to play this game. I've played it live several times.
This is going to make me feel so much better.
So there was a point in the game where I was looking at one of my animal cards, and it was a fairly easy pattern to replicate. So I had it going several times on my board, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't place the animal cube onto my board, even though I had just made the pattern that was on the card. And I realized I hadn't drafted the card. It was still up in the tableau.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
And by the time it got around to my turn again,
It was gone.
one of you guys took
Yeah.
it.
I had definitely had turns where I was building something that I didn't own, but then thanks to the reset feature, I was like, oh yeah, no, I'll go a different way.
So on that note, one thing I did recognize while playing this on BGA, and that's how we played it. That's the scheduling conflict piece of all this. I've also played it in person, and I do very much enjoy playing it in person versus over BGA. One, it really helps to avoid mistakes like that y'all described. It's easier to keep track of, at least for me, looking around at what other people are going for.
Yes.
I mean, it's easy to scroll up and down, I guess, on your computer or phone and check that. But I totally it wasn't as intuitive the first game we played.
Yeah.
And I'm going for I'm grabbing animal cards that want yellows in some capacity. And there are no yellows coming up. No yellows. I'm stuck with 3 cards I can't finish. And then I find, oh, wait. Let me see what they're going for. Oh, look, they all got yellows. And once that happened, it made the second game a little bit easier. But it's easier at looking at the table to look at everyone else's board and be like, oh, because it's all colors. Like, oh, a bunch of reds over there, a bunch of yellows over there. And then there's also the 3D aspect to it. There's just something about physically stacking these pieces and seeing it in front of you. It's just more enjoyable. So definitely enjoy it in person more than BGA.
I do find on BGA that I take out a lot of the player interaction. Like I just don't. And it's so funny because it's like where the limitations of a table would make it hard to see what is on, like I'm thinking about for other games more specifically, but like what the player board looks like across the table would be a whole lot easier to see online. And I still just don't look for it. So I definitely do believe I lost some of that kind of like aspect.
We also played this asynchronously on BGA, which in the past I know we have sat down together like with headphones on and played. Which one was
Parks?
That? Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. That is like the second best board gaming experience you can have to being there in person. With being asynchronous, we kind of like removed a lot of the player interaction. That we would have had.
The game is not what I would call pretty. Like it's colored discs, which are bright and colorful. The artwork on the cards, and it's worth noting that Libellude is the same company that came out with Dixit and Mysterium and Obscurio.
Oh, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense.
They're animal cards, but I don't know that if you were to just flash one in front of my face real fast, I don't know that I would be able to define an animal.
I wish I had a copy here so we could put that to the
Yeah,
test.
it's not like a Cascadia animal card where like you have your foxes and your eagles, and it's very obvious.
Yeah, they're brightly colored. They're neat artwork. It looks fine. But I think, kind of to your point, James, the 3D element, the tactile element of this game, I felt it lost a lot when we played it on BGA.
Yeah, it really brings to life when you're sitting at a table and a 4-player game, and you have all these 3D stacks of tiles happening. You walk by a table of Harmonies, and you're like, "Oh, what's that?"
Yeah,
because there's just something to it. So I think you do miss out on that, but. Other than that, that's the extra piece that it brings from the Cascadia Azul baby, that happened, is that 3D aspect to it, which changes it up a little bit. And I like Cascadia, guys. I like Azul. I'll get to the point. I like Harmonies.
Yeah.
So let me throw this out before we give our votes. Tail end of our season 1, I did a game of the show, or a game challenge, where I can't remember what the whole purpose was. There was some puzzle that I was giving you, but it was the top ranked board games on BGG from that last year. And I don't know if you remember or not, but this was the highest ranked board game that came out last year. And at the time we brought it up, all of us kind of went, yeah, we don't know. We haven't seen that one yet. And we were kind of wondering what made it worth all the hype. So James has already said he's on board with this one. He liked it.
I liked it.
Is that your vote? Is it
my vote? Is it is a keep it to play, and whether it replaces Cascadia or not for me, I don't think so. I think you can own both, but definitely keep it to play.
Yeah, I don't think it replaces Cascadia. I recently taught a group Cascadia, so it was like I got to play vicariously a little bit. And I still love that game too. Love Harmonies. I understand the hype now. And so that is a keep it to play for me.
From when I took my first turn to when we finished our second game, I had a complete turnaround on this game, and I really, really like it. I am not a Cascadia fan, so that does not even factor into the equation for me, except I guess my opinion was shaded a little bit when someone's like, it's like Cascadia. It's like, oh, no. However, it is a keep it to play for me. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I'm very glad it was chosen for Game of the Show.
I'll just mention real quick, you triggered a memory, Dwayne. Comparing the two, one big benefit Harmonies has is that it's fast.
It's very fast.
Cascadia has a tendency to be
always
way
longer than I think it
has
is. Yeah.
So
I
another
was
positive.
shocked how quickly the game went by.
Yeah, in person it plays very quickly.
So
Yeah.
I am very conflicted on this game.
Oh.
Because we obviously revealed in our season last year this was a big contender for a popular game going on. It started showing up to some of our events, and I was seeing a lot of people sitting down and playing with it. Got an opportunity to play it and went, yeah, I like this. This is great.
So far, so good.
Let me get it on my wish list as soon as possible. And since then, I've had several opportunities in game stores where there's been Harmonies and there's been something else. And I've consistently bought something else.
Give me at least one something else that you bought.
Well, this last weekend, I got Heat, Tunnel Vision, and the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game.
Okay.
There have been other games. I don't recall.
Those are both solid choices, though.
I've had opportunity to jump at the chance of getting this game, and I've passed it up, which makes me think it's neat, but I'll let other people own it. I'll just play their copies.
Well, so did you pass it up because you know it exists in the group already? If that wasn't the case, would you have passed it up?
Oh, James.
I mean, it's a fair reason to pass it up, but
I'll keep it to play.
There you go.
Keep it to play.
Yes.
All right. You're allowed to stay on the podcast.
I think I've said this before, and a big decision might keep it to play or trade away on occasion is would my wife play this game?
Yeah.
And I could she loves
Yes.
Azul.
Yeah.
I 100% see her enjoying Harmonies just because it's fast, it's easily understandable. Even if you don't know the rules, you could play it apparently. It's so that is among the reasons why I want to keep it to play.
So how did our scores shake out?
Well, I think this might surprise everyone.
This is our most shocking ranking.
Even though I did not have a complete understanding of the rules, not only did I win the first game, which is the actual game, but we played a second game just for funsies. I won the second game as well, and I still don't understand why.
I got so mad. Somehow I ended up third in our first game. Similarly, like not understanding it, I thought I was going to get dead last. I didn't finish a single animal card in the first game.
Wow.
And then I had such a much better strategy in the second game when it came to the animal cards. And my score improved greatly, but so did everyone else's. So I ended up being in dead last for our second game.
I finished dead last in the first game, thanks to my chasing a card that I didn't actually own. And then recovered well and finished second in the second game, which would normally make me the chooser of the game of the show. But that was our second game, and seconds don't count.
Yeah,
so,
the first game counts, though.
Yeah. So let's see. It's the season of James continues again.
I got
for real.
Yeah, we're going to have to do away with this rule for this season.
Now, I know we're done with the game discussion, but one last thing. Dwayne, you mentioned you won. You weren't playing right, and you won. And you're probably all, if you're listening, you're probably like, that sounds terrible. Why? I mean,
like, that
why
sounds
would you even want to play
broken.
this game? It sounds broken, and I don't care. That playing the game is just so enjoyable that it doesn't bother me. So yes, can that happen? Is this the highest strategy game? Maybe not. But if you heard that and you're like, well, that sounds terrible, just playing the game is fun. The experience is worth it.
It's lightweight.
Yeah.
This is not something that you're going to eat up an hour or two trying to teach this and play it. It's over and done in a half hour, 40 minutes.
And for the most part, the token scoring rules are like, if you have tokens, you get points, and the animal cards kind of lead you in that direction anyway. So I instead of like looking at it as, well, Dwayne didn't know that was a rule, you can look at it as the animal cards are going to help you gain points. I think the one thing that really helped in the second game, though, is when you, towards the end, you explained the water scoring rules, and I had already went heavy water in that game just by chance.
So it worked out.
It was just the feature that I decided to go for on my animal cards. And because you said that, I was able to get another 2 sections for 10 points there at the very end.
So what game have I chosen for our next play?
What game?
What
This is going to be something that brings some flavor.
Ooh.
It brings
cooking.
some splash. It brings some food. We're playing Juicy Fruits.
Oh, I was thinking it's the chunky fruit game,
The
right?
chunky fruit game.
I have never played it, but I have seen those chunky fruits before.
You want some chunky fruits?
Amazing.
I'm
looking
ready.
forward to this. For anybody else, you're familiar with it?
I know this one. I own it.
I have not played
All right,
this.
Again, so we got a Harmonies situation
There
again.
we go.
All right, listeners. Well, if you have any thoughts on Juicy Fruits or any other games that we've talked about on this episode, please shoot us an email at pod@gleefulmeeple.com.
You were very hesitant on that.
I know, because I don't have it written down this time, y'all. This is I'm shooting from the hip here.
So, I think we've talked enough about games that it's time to play a game on air. No, not a board game. A game about board games. This week, James has brought a game for us to play.
Before we jump into this game, so the last episode, you were not able to do that, and we had to suddenly fill in. And
but wasn't Adam there?
Yeah. Well,
but someone had to do that line.
we had to do the line,
Yeah.
and
I did not do it well.
Yeah.
And even though we've heard it 20
and it's written in all of our episode show
And I
notes.
was confident. I told JK, I got this.
were we making you cringe when you heard the episode?
I haven't listened
JK,
to
you
it.
should have known.
Shame.
Just called her. JK came up with that whole story just to call you out on not listening to the episode.
It was part of it was I had the FOMO, and just listening to an episode that I wasn't a part of for half of it, I think made me sad.
That's fair. Okay, sorry, James.
It
Go
was
ahead.
fun editing. There's a moment where I'm like, I could just take Emily out completely because you were in and out a bunch, and I was like, but we hit a point where it was really funny just to have you disappear. So I made it that,
just never to be
that
acknowledged
way.
again.
Yeah. And she's gone. We're moving on. That was fun to edit.
You could have totally clipped it from a previous episode too, because I've done that exact wording.
Oh, you're right. I probably could have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's work. Well, I have brought a game for you guys today.
Yay.
All right, I'm down.
And it's a game that kind of recently played that Emily brought to us. But I thought this would be a fun twist on it.
Let's go.
Ooh.
I'm
So
excited.
Emily recently brought 20 questions.
Okay.
I'm going to bring the insider.
Oh.
I'm going to send all 3 of you a message. 2 of you will get a message that just says, nope.
Okay.
1 of you will get a message that just names some kind of board game hobby related something.
Okay.
All 3 of you will then ask me 20 questions to try and figure out what that is.
Okay.
It's like
The
werewolves.
It is
insider,
werewolves, yeah. Okay.
the insider wants you all
This
to
is-
guess it. So they're asking questions, but not so obvious that the other 2
Because
can
if the
guess who the
insider
insider
is-
is.
Oh.
Okay.
So at the end, we'll see if you can get there, but then if you can correctly identify who the insider is.
Can you
or
find
not.
the seer?
We're guessing both the game and
Yeah.
the inside.
All right.
Yes.
I love this, James. This is exciting.
And just keep in mind, this is just board game related, whatever.
Okay.
Anything board game hobby related.
Okay.
So give me one moment. Now I'm going to send you guys all the message.
I was sitting here trying to think why you texted me ping, and I was like, oh, am I taking too long? Emily, why are you turning this into a show of lies? I can fully see you are on your entire seat.
And again, for reference, we discussed this last time. A bread box is designed to hold 2 full-size loaves
Amazing.
of bread.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Yes.
Really?
Is-
that
is-
makes sense.
So all the messages have been sent.
Okay.
Is that one of the first questions?
It is always the first question.
Yes.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Oh, and I will mention yes or no questions. Yes.
Okay.
So it's a physical thing. I'm assuming if it's bigger than a bread box.
We don't know.
Is it a game?
No.
Okay.
Well, that eliminates a lot of stuff.
Is it a place where people gather?
Oh, good question.
Oh.
No.
Because I was leaning towards a board game store when he said it wasn't
Or-
a board
or
game.
convention, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, convention. That would have been a good one.
It's big. It's not a place where people gather, and it's not a game.
Is it a game accessory?
Yes.
So now I'm thinking like play mats or rule books or
Is it a... How do I phrase this? Is it a accessory that is specific to a game?
Is it a propane-related accessory?
Propane related accessory.
Is what I'm asking making sense? Like,
is it a specific accessory
yeah.
specific to a game?
Does it, yeah.
No.
Okay. So it could be something like a playmat?
Yeah. Like generic.
Like a generic playmat? Okay.
Can you say with any degree of certainty that any of the 3 of us own this?
Yes.
Okay, it could also be a table, you know,
That's a good.
or a crokinole board. Oh, but he said it wasn't a game.
Yeah, I was.
But is
yeah.
the board the game?
I would make the argument, yes. Or we can just, I mean,
Getting really.
we can simply ask, is it a crokinole board?
No.
But now
I
we
don't know why
wasted a
we're debating
question.
this.
One question away.
Oh, wait.
No,
Are
no,
we
wait. No,
limited-
no, no. I thought I phrased that wrong.
Okay.
One question less.
Are we limited on questions?
Yes.
20
20.
questions.
Oh, so, okay. It's not
Hey,
just
the
a
other
clever
option of
name.
this was a sand timer.
Okay.
And I thought that would
I
be
would rather have 20
too
questions.
anxiety ridden.
Is it a board gaming table?
No.
Let me ask this. This is not a question because it's not a yes
We
or
could
no
have said
question.
the
How
game-
many questions do we have remaining?
You have asked 8 questions.
Okay. Oh,
You have
we're in
plenty
the
of
clear.
questions.
We're
We
in
can
the
make it
clear.
10 if you want.
Does the game is this does the game go on top of it?
Yes?
Give an example. Tell
No,
just for what
well-
are you thinking? Like, what
a
do you
board
mean by that?
playmat. It's not a board gaming table. like JK said.
But what she just asked and the way James paused,
Okay.
it could be shelving.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
obvious. Is it a calyx shelf?
It is a calyx
Yeah.
There you
shelf.
go.
That
We
makes
did
sense.
it.
You only used 10 questions.
Nice.
Yay.
We're just that good, James.
Congratulations.
Okay,
You guessed it.
I have some
Thanks.
opinions. I think it was JK because I think he knew it was
I
calyx
think it was
shelf and he
JK.
was too scared
Who's
to
the
say. He
insider?
didn't want to
I think
say
it was JK.
to point himself out.
You guys think it's me?
I do.
I think it's Emily.
Finger pointing at Emily. Finger pointing at
I don't know,
JK.
JK. It's, to me, it's just the way you were like, is it shelving? Like, what else would it, like, what other kind of shelving would it
Well,
be?
think back. What are all the questions you guys asked? Anything stand out?
Bigger than a bread box. It's not a game. We own it, clearly. Mm-hmm. You have some, I have some.
Who asked do we own it?
I did.
Does it go on
I'm
top?
good with that.
Yeah.
That's a weird question to ask.
Yeah.
Well, like a table.
It's on top.
Are we doing pointing?
All right. On the count of 3, you will point your fingers. 1, 2, 3. Wow. The insider is the winner. It was Dwayne.
Dwayne gets me every
That was my
single
most
time
satisfying
any
win
social
yet.
deduction happens.
job.
The fact that
Dwayne.
no one pointed at me, I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was great.
Was it the fact that I said calyx shelf that did that help my case?
It should have
No?
hurt your case.
I
but
think you flowed
agreed
into
with
that
me.
really well.
You agreed with me too quickly with JK. I got too confident.
The way Emily was kind of glancing over this way and thinking, and then can you
I'm
put
just
it?
facing
can you
the
put
shelves.
it on top?
We're
And I'm
sitting
like,
at a table.
When JK said shelving, that was the perfect layup for
It really
for
was.
you, Dwayne.
It really
That was.
was.
Just, man.
Because I was thinking table, I was thinking playmat, I was thinking board. I wasn't even thinking shelves.
The insider being able to give the answer and not give themselves away. That's a dance right there. You nailed it.
You're welcome, Dwayne.
All right.
Good job, Dwayne.
Dwayne is the winner of that round for sure. You guys each get half a point because you did figure it out.
Okay.
You can pat yourselves on the back. All right. I am sending everybody new messages right now. All right. New clues have been, or clue has been distributed to the crew.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
I knew that was coming.
I was going to try to beat you to the punch.
Yes.
Is Dwayne the insider?
No, that is
I'm
not.
just kidding. That's not a
Answering
question.
a question. You're playing within the rules of the game.
Oh, okay, so let's narrow it down. Is it a board game?
No.
Is it a physical object that we can touch?
Now I don't know if he's just pausing to make us an easy.
Yes.
There's a lot of contemplation
It's
around.
okay, so it is. I don't like your face.
So I just want to
right
rule
now,
out like
James.
it's not a mechanic or a concept.
That's
or
what I was
something like
thinking.
He
He paused for so long though.
Can you purchase games there?
No.
that. If I were to look up,
Wait, he's thinking through it.
oops, I don't know.
Rephrase your question.
You just got the
Is it a
question
building?
mark.
How do I rephrase that?
You said, can you purchase games there?
Is it
What do you, that's a,
is it a game store?
Oh, as opposed to like the register.
no.
Well, okay, let's go bigger picture. Is it a place?
Yes.
It's a place, but maybe you can, maybe you can't purchase games.
Can you play
there.
games there?
Yes.
Oh,
But it's something you can touch. So I'm assuming it's not like a Gleeful Meeple event.
Oh.
Oh.
Is it one of our venues?
The pause.
I mean, you could
Why the
you could
pause?
technically touch a venue.
Yeah.
No.
It's not one of our venues. Is is it on private property.
Yes.
We said it is a place, right?
Place on private property.
Is it a specific, like a proper noun place?
Yes.
Okay. But it's not a venue. And it's not a game store, right?
To the best of your knowledge, have all three of us been there?
No.
Is it Ivy
I don't
Studios?
think so. It is Ivy Studios, Emily.
Wow.
And I don't think all three of you have been there.
I have
I've
not.
Been there.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, as soon as you started thinking about it, it's not our venue, but we've like hung out there as a group.
That one threw me for a loop because we've been there before, but I would not consider it one of our venues.
Yeah, that's fair.
As much as I would like for it to be.
And what we had there wasn't really a public event.
Right,
So, yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I think Dwayne's the insider again.
I think Dwayne's the insider again.
Hold on. No,
So you got there by 11 questions.
No, let's not. Let's think this through. But I don't know which one of you I want to think this through with. She got us to Ivy Studios. Did she pull my thing?
No, because I followed the logic
She,
with a lot of help from
you've
Dwayne.
not been to Ivy Studios.
Correct.
That's a big leap of all the places she hasn't been.
But I know that James has been there recently. It was private property. You can't purchase games there, but you can play games there. At first I was thinking like Dwayne's house, as if he was trying to be funny. But then he said that we had not all been there, which got me to Ivy.
It could be either one of you, but the way she immediately came after me first makes... It could have been either one of you, but the way she came after me first makes me suspect Emily more.
No, I'm just still bitter from the first round.
I agree with that. I think she made a big leap in logic to Ivy Studios from Have You Been There?
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm with
I
you.
don't think it's that big of a leap
How many places have you not been in the world, Emily?
that we've played games at a lot, but that are on the top of James's mind. Ivy Studios.
See, when I asked, have we all been there? And he said, no. I thought for sure it was Gen Con, but that threw me off because you can buy games there. So I wasn't sure.
Exactly. See? And then whenever James is like, I think most of you have done this, I just assume I'm the odd person out because that's usually how it goes, which also helped me get to Ivy
I'll give you a
Studios.
chance. Is there anything you can think of to make me convinced that it's JK and not you?
No.
Okay.
Well, there we go. Okay.
On the count of 3, let the accusations fly. 1, 2, 3. JK points at Emily. Emily points at JK. Dwayne points at Emily. The insider has won the game. It was JK.
well done, JK.
Oh no, Emily pointed at JK. Mm-hmm. So
I just got minority.
Nobody wins actually. You got there.
Okay.
But someone did find you out.
Darn
Yeah,
it.
you didn't do a good enough job.
Yeah.
What was it that made you think JK?
I wasn't sure if you were going to do Dwayne 2 times in a row, and then when I accused Dwayne,
Metagaming.
That is the metagame.
he got super defensive in a way that I did not think was bluffing, and so I just ended up going for JK.
Okay.
So that is a little metagamey, but
Well, hey, we're gonna play one more round, and am I gonna spread the love evenly?
yeah,
am I gonna
the
double up
insider?
again? Who knows?
double bluff.
I know I say this almost every time we play a game that I didn't create. This is probably my favorite game we've done on here.
Just get ready for next show.
Uh-oh. Promises.
All right, new clues. Clue has been distributed amongst our hosts. Let the questions begin.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Yes, it is absolutely bigger than a bed
I
box.
totally know we're burning a question with that, but like traditions have to be
we've
upheld.
we've
only
gotten
needed
them
about
under.
half so
I was about
far,
to say.
yeah.
I was like, we've gotten it under 15 every time.
New rule:
so.
we get 5 questions.
No.
Is it something we can physically touch?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it a game?
No.
Is it a game accessory?
No.
Is it a location?
No.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay, let's slow down now because we have burnt a lot of things and haven't gotten anywhere.
And it
with
was
this.
physical,
It is physical, yeah.
not a game,
Not
not
a
a game
location.
accessory, not a location.
Wow. But it is.
Is it?
Not a question to you, but yet it is somehow board game related.
It-
This is bizarre.
Is it storage? Like, not a question.
But even the storage was he called it an accessory.
Oh, that is true. Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
it's not a location.
correct.
Is it a person?
yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
There we
gosh.
go.
Person, place, thing. We're running out of.
And they have to be bigger than a bread box.
Yeah.
Would this person be considered a game artist?
No.
Is there another category other than designer?
Like influencer,
Oh.
celebrity.
Paula. Is it a game influencer?
Yes.
I only know Paula, but I don't want to guess Paula.
Do they have... let me think about the way I want to phrase this. Can I use two questions? I'll use two questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Do they have a recurring YouTube show?
Yes.
Can I interrupt your two questions? Well, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. I have an idea.
Do they host a recurring gathering?
No.
Oh, like
Okay,
JK?
so that probably eliminates
Us?
anybody in Dice Tower and anybody in Man vs. Meeple. And anybody in Tantrum House.
And the Gleeful Meeple podcast.
Okay. Is it a man?
Yes.
But it's not Dice Tower. Oh, who's the rules guy?
Rodney Smith?
Is that him?
Is it
Oh.
Rodney Smith?
Yes, it is Rodney Smith.
Nice.
12 questions. You got there.
doing good on that.
Congratulations. You discovered the answer.
Should I accuse Dwayne again? Really make him sweat?
Well, if James is balancing things out,
Yeah.
it would be you.
Yes.
But James
But-
is probably smart enough to know that we expect him not to balance things out, and we would pick Dwayne.
Yeah.
But because we're smart enough to know that James thinks we're smart enough to know that it would balance things out, we should probably pick you.
Which is why I think it's JK. That's just a lot of...
Or is James being a chaos gremlin
And no
there
one
was-
is...
Oh,
I like that idea.
What indeed?
No, because
Or
it's...
does James know that that I would do Emily, but then I wouldn't do Emily, and so I'd do chaos. But because of the chaos, I actually would pick somebody.
What if it was James?
I chose myself.
We're going to eliminate that. Okay, first of all,
I actually chose the listeners.
I will say this: if it is indeed you, give us the win because we figured that out sort of. However, let's assume that he is playing by the actual rules.
Right.
So in the first round, I teed you up to guess
Yes,
the question, and you immediately dove in and said the answer.
sure.
In this round, I teed you up to guess it, and you did not.
What
guess
did
the
you
answer.
team me up for?
What was the tee up?
Is it Rodney Smith? And then you went, I don't know, should we ask? And I asked, is it Rodney? Why didn't you ask that? So
That is true. That's a good
That-
point.
Because you came up with it. I thought, honestly, if I'm
well, I
thinking,
came up with Kalax shelves too, and then you went and asked it.
that's true.
So
How did y'all end up on people again?
No, I don't think you ever said Calyx. I think you said, is it shelving? You were asking the question to the group, is it shelving? I don't know that he ever said Calyx.
Which is a tee up.
specifically.
okay,
That's a pretty specific tee up.
Now, here's the thing. I know that what I did could look like a tee up, but I honestly could not remember the dude's name because I do not watch a lot of it. I just know that there is a guy. I couldn't remember it. There's another guy. There was actually, and Rodney is
guy.
not the guy I was thinking of. Is it Rondo?
Rado runs through.
Rado.
That's the one I was actually thinking of.
Oh, okay.
So then JK pulled out Rodney Smith out of... Does Rodney Smith do rules?
He
Yes.
does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's watch it play.
He just wasn't what you were thinking.
Is there any way it could be Emily?
Sure.
What questions did she ask?
Is it a game accessory?
I think I've made. my
Oh,
decision.
and then is it an influencer?
I think I've made my
Yep.
decision.
All right, on the count of 3, accusations will fly. 1, 2, 3. Emily points at Dwayne. Dwayne points at JK. JK points at Dwayne. The insider has won. It was Emily.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
I was so torn.
James moved the iocane powder again.
I pulled a Dwayne and got y'all to accuse each other.
I feel like a way I won because I got pointed at by 2 people that time, and it was not me.
It was as soon as I saw Rodney Smith, and I was like, "This will be great." I have no idea who that is.
So one of the best aspects. Oh, really? You don't know who Rodney?
I know.
I was really worried about that. So we're going to stop there, folks. The clue I did have prepared to give you was actually crokinole.
That's
But
funny.
you mentioned it previously.
That's amazing.
So it was
it
on the
too
top of
early.
everyone's mind. And I just think it would have. So I switched it. Rodney Smith was going to be for you, JK.
Okay.
But I had to. I was. I hope Emily knows. Certainly, she knows who Rodney
That's so
Smith is.
funny.
Single greatest board game teacher on
He's
the planet.
very good.
Yeah.
He really is.
I might have watched one of his videos then. I'm just bad at remembering people's names too.
One of the funnest ways to play these types of games in person is when everybody gets to play the role of the special role type.
Yeah.
So I did want to have each person. So I'm glad we got on that meta conversation so I could start casting doubts. Would I
Yes.
double up on somebody?
You're welcome.
And it worked. Thank you for playing my game, guys. Hopefully you all had fun playing along while listening. We might revisit this one in the future.
I'd love to.
Dude, definitely do so. That was fun.
Is that it? Did we do it?
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for today. We want to wrap up this episode by thanking our sponsor, the Sterling Cooper Advertising Agency. Since 1923, the madmen of Sterling Cooper have been bringing you high-quality advertising for companies such as Honda, Lucky Strike, and Vicks Chemical. Sterling Cooper Advertising Agency, Madison Avenue, New York. By the time this episode airs, we are into the heat of summer with July. Come cool off with a cool beverage and a great board game at one of our events throughout Nashville. We'll see you soon. Email us at pod@gleefulmeeple.com or find us on Instagram at gleefulmeeplepod. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Gleeples.